Welcome to 5 Minutes for Finance, where we give you important money management strategies for small business owners. Here's your host, David Worrell.
Hey, welcome back. It's David Worrell with 5 Minutes for Finance. Give me 5 minutes. I'll tell you something really cool for your small business. And today I've got a special guest, Paul Worley, whose name is not Worrell like mine, but it's damn close. We might be related, Paul. You never know.
Distantly, back in the old country.
Back in the old country. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul is the demo guy for a new technology company I really like. They make some software called Telemetry. It's telemetryfi dot
At telemetryfi.com.
Okay, it was just that easy. I wasn't sure.
Yep.
So, Paul, go ahead and share your screen. We're going to really quickly blow through the 4 or 5 really cool wows that you get with telemetry. And he's going to start with an Excel sheet behind you there. And at this stage, I want you guys just to think, this is the model of my business. This is my business model written in Excel, explained to me in Excel. This is the one spreadsheet that I come back to. And by the way, if you don't have a business model on a spreadsheet yet, make January, make February your month to put a model into a spreadsheet, because every business should have a basic model. This one's actually a little bit full-featured or robust. You know, some of my models are number of customers across the line, revenue across the line, probable expenses, and am I going to make a profit at the end of the month? A model can be just that simple. Paul's got a pretty robust one here. And the great thing about this is you can do some really good financial planning and analysis. The bad news is it's a big model and it takes a long time to update, right? So I've built models like this for clients, and what I end up doing is spending hours saying, okay, we just closed November of 2023, let's go back and put the actuals in this model so that everything else updates and we can see how we're actually doing. That's a pain in the you-know-what for an accountant, maybe for you as a business owner. Paul's got a very cool solution for that. So Paul, tell us how you first update this model.
Absolutely. Thanks. So Telemetry has a plugin available through the Microsoft App Source Marketplace. I have it open here. And also one available through the Google Sheets Marketplace. You can use either. The functionality is the same. And the setup is easy. We anticipate it takes about 10 or 15 minutes to map, i.e. tell Telemetry how your plan is set up versus what you have maybe in QuickBooks, Xero, or NetSuite. And then once set up, it's really easy to do what David was saying takes hours and hours. You can do in about 5 seconds. So here I have this model, and it can be as complex as you want. This is, a dozen tabs. I can go here in December. You'll notice I'm using P or A for actual or projected. All I have to do is tell Telemetry, hey, these months are actual now, i.e. we closed the books in QuickBooks. I want them now reflected inside of my Excel model. So instead of hours, I just click this fetch button. You'll see it's going to go out to the actuals from your ERP system, and it's going to bring those into this model. So in about 5 seconds, we now trued this model up to reflect current actuals for the current period.
Look at that. So every line that's now green with blue type has been updated to match QuickBooks. And the December, which you just changed, is also being updated. It's highlighting the numbers that are changing in that month so
Correct.
That you can kind of figure out what's going on in your business, right?
Correct. So yeah, we're truing it up. We're always showing you a preview of the numbers, and we're flagging numbers that have changed. So here we had a fixed cost, green to green. The actual came in at 700. It was spec'd at 700, no change. However, you may have had a projection for 590. It came in at 642. We're going to flag that as yellow for you so you make sure it looks good. And when you're done, you would click Save and Publish. That pushes a copy up to Telemetry. And not only is it trued up your historical financials, it also understands your projected financials. So when David was speaking about everybody needs a model, forward-looking projections, we have those now inside of Telemetry.
Right. So you get to keep your spreadsheet. Go ahead and use your spreadsheet in the old-fashioned way as much as you want, but it's now connected to this very sweet website. Telemetry is just on a website, right? Anybody can log in. And not only is the model in there, but now you're going to be able to make some pretty pictures and some charts and graphs and projections and that sort of thing, right?
For sure. So here we have, as you would expect, the financial statements that are coming straight out of, P&L, cash flow, balance sheet, coming straight out of Excel. Not as interesting. What we do very well, variance reporting. So really nice side-by-side reporting comparing two different models or comparing, budget to actual.
Right. So in this case, we're comparing, or could compare QuickBooks actual to what my model was before I updated it with the actuals.
Exactly right.
Cool.
Or we can compare two time periods inside of your model. So, hey, we just closed Q4. How did Q3 do versus Q4? How much more did I make?
Right.
All the data is interactive, so you can drill down and see what suppliers make up a number, if it's a cost account or customers on a revenue account, et cetera. You can even see the transactions. Okay. So a lot of support for variance reporting, for sharing, responsibly sharing financials with others. We even have a segment P&L engine. But what's new and fancy, where I want to spend a little bit of time, now that telemetry understands your P&L, it understands your budget P&L, it understands your vendors and customers, what other new kind of lens can we apply to that? For us, it's AI. So I'm going to start out, as of today, telemetry knows about those things. So coming soon will be balance sheet, it'll be KPIs, it'll be other stuff. But for now, I can ask it basics about something like revenue. How do we do on revenue last month? I'm going to get a readout. Not so interesting. However, if I ask it maybe to compare to something like a budget, right? It knows what the budget is. It's contextually aware, so it knows I'm asking about revenue. And now it's going to give me my budget versus actual for that metric that I asked. As I mentioned, it knows about customers and vendors, so it can summarize data for me. In this case, I asked it something basic, give me my top 5 customers, but it's going to be able to deliver. And let's get fancier here. Let's ask it for, instead of something like top 5 customers, give me all my vendors in a category. So in this case, in software, trended over 6 months, and build me a graph. And it's going to be able to do that for me as well.
Very sweet. Look at that. So 2 quick things. Number one, we should tell the audience that we're speeding this up, right? We're all used to ChatGPT that takes 20, 30 seconds to render these kinds of results. And that's going to continue to be the case for a while. Paul's got this cached for us so that the answers are popping right up. That's fine. The second thing is, this is early days, right? This is just the railroad being built to the great wild, wild west. And we're doing relatively simple stuff. Some of these questions are pretty basic things, but I can imagine 6 months from now or 6 years from now, this is your CFO, right? I mean, you're not going to have to call smart guys at Fuse CFO anymore. You're going to log into your telemetry and you're going to say, tell me, the change in my gross margin per account over the last 6 years. Which of my clients is now producing the best gross profit versus the other ones, and how is that account different from the other accounts? What mix of products are they buying from me, and who's my best customer by gross margin or by total sales volume, and what am I doing differently? How can I build my business better? And this damn AI is going to take my job.
That's the goal. Software is eating the world, as they say. But you are correct in that right now this is a reactive system. You ask it a question, it gives you a response. In fact, it's only limited today to the P&L and the vendors, suppliers, and budget. Sure. Where we're going next, some more basic things you would expect. Be able to handle KPIs, headcount, balance sheet, cash flow, etc. After that, it gets more into that proactive metaphor that we're thinking. Instead of being reactive, it's proactive. It's automatically suggesting areas for savings, trends that are changing on you that you need to get a handle on. Even when you think way forward, and there's tens of thousands of customers all using this, it can actually start stack ranking and saying, hey, customers your size in this vertical tend to spend more than you do on software, or tend to have a marketing payoff of 6 months instead of 8 months where you are. So let's talk about ways we can shrink that down to 6 months. Yeah. So there's a lot more power coming. This is step one, but we're excited about what this can do for you.
Very cool. I talked to a guy the other day who takes the data like this, and he says, hey, wait a minute, you told me you only had 5 employees, but you are paying for 6 licenses for Adobe PDF. Expense reduction strategies and that 100%. Sort of thing. Yeah, it's coming, isn't it?
Yeah.
Crazy. Paul, thank you so much. That's our 5 minutes for finance. You got an encapsulation of Telemetry Finance. What's the full company name, Paul?
Telemetry Finance Inc.
Telemetry Finance Inc. Okay, telemetryfi.com. Very cool. An individual company can deploy this for less than $100 a month. You can get started. And it's also available for guys like me, right? As an accountant package, I can put all of my clients on this and have a single portal where I log in and take care of 20 or 30 or 50 customers at a time. So if you're a CPA or a fractional CFO like me, this might be something very cool to look into.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you, David.
All right. Thank you, guys. Join us next time for 5 minutes for finance. I hope that was fun. As always, my timer has run out, and so we will see you next time.
Thanks for listening. Visit fusecfo.com for our social media channels and more.